this probably starts with Ukraine, and it starts with the arrival now of U.S. military trainers who will be operating in western Ukraine, in the Lvov area, in the fascist stronghold, in the area where the nostalgia for the Nazi SS is strongest, in the area of Lvov, Lviv, Lemberg, whatever you like, Galicia. This is where the U.S. trainers will be operating, and we have a statement quite categorical from the Russian Foreign Ministry. The spokesman of the Russian Foreign Ministry, Alexander Lukashevich, says, and I quote, U.S.-Ukrainian military drills in the western Ukrainian Lviv region threaten Russia's security. Security threatened. That is a very stern warning. You threaten Russia's security, this cannot end well. It is time for these neocon fascist madmen on the U.S. side to back down, to be fired. We have heard in the course of the week from the unspeakable Madame Nuland. Madame Nuland is an embarrassment to the United States and to the anti-fascist history of the United States. She is unpresentable. She is crude, scurrilous, ignorant, and boiling over with venom. She is a bubbling cauldron of hate and venom. And we cannot allow this, right? She's got to be fired. Fire Nuland, impeach Nuland, discredit Nuland. Anyway, this has to be done. Now, we've also had the exchange of compliments here. The Deputy Secretary General of NATO is an American, at least that's what they say, an American by the name of Alexander Vershbow, Vershbow, and he says that this is an angry and revisionist Russia. And he even goes on to say that the goal of the policies that Putin has put into place is to prevent a color revolution from bringing about regime change in Russia, which I believe is a perfectly legitimate goal. Why should you sit there and let the regime change be perpetrated against you? Certainly, people who read my book, Obama, the Postmodern Coup, The Making of a Manchurian Candidate, spring 2008, will recall the the systematic attention given in that book to the question of the color revolution, the Brzezinski plan, the breakup of Russia. Vershbow essentially saying you're not allowed to stop regime change and stop our color revolutions. We've also got the Deputy Defense Minister, Anatoly Antonov, and he says anybody in NATO who is making noises about a threat by Russia to Eastern Europe is, quote, mad and, quote, paranoid. So we've also got Lukashevich saying that the goal of these U.S. military trainers is how to use overseas, meaning U.S., British, military equipment. It is evident that they are not trying to bring peace to the country. Kiev authorities and all the Ukrainian people should think about the possible consequences of such steps. Lukashevich goes on to say, suppose the citizens of Donbass start being killed with the use of U.S. weapons. Where will that lead? This is bankrupt policy. Lukashevich also points to the fact that it looks like we're getting the NATO warships coming into the Black Sea for Operation Sea Breeze. You'll remember last year, Sea Breeze was one of the things that it was associated with some of those aircraft coming down. Lukashevich says this time, speaking of the ships that entered the Black Sea, I would call it a very worrisome signal, a provocative idea that does not add to stability and confidence that the peace process will be stepped up. This is all reported in Sputnik. Sputnik has a very interesting proposition. This is a new service, right? I think it's filling the RIA Novosti niche, and these are now, I think, basically interchangeable. So, a massive escalation of tensions between the great powers. I've been reading to you, the quotes come from the article, Russia denounces arrival of U.S. military trainers in Ukraine. Carol J. Williams, Los Angeles Times.